Welcome back everyone to a brand new vlog. This is a mega vlog. I did not upload one last week, so this is going to cover 2 weeks. Majority of this is actually the July 4th weekend, which we flew up to Minneapolis for. This was our first time in first class slash business on American domestically, which was an interesting experience. Actually pretty dang nice, but here we are in Minneapolis. Just stepped outside of Minneapolis. It's midnight. We haven't felt real humidity in a long time. It was kind of humid in New York, but this is like what feels like 85 to 90. I'm gonna check my phone and see if I'm right, but it's real humid. It feels sticky. Not used to this anymore. Picked up by my buddy Will, and we're wearing the same shirt. Woke up early to go run, but it looks like it's actually gonna pour outside. I checked the weather and there's gonna be a thunderstorm with at least moderate rain, so not the safest to run outside, and especially a place I don't know without being at home, all the clothes that I need. So that's in Mississippi, which is pretty cool. So I'm running on a treadmill, which sucks, but gotta do what you gotta do. 90 minutes. Man, I hate the treadmill. Dripping sweat, nowhere for it to go. There's not really a breeze. But 9 miles done, got it in. Monday morning after my run, we spent a fair amount of time just exploring parts of Minneapolis. They actually live in St. Paul, so we had to drive over to Minneapolis for this. This is their cat, Oliver, who was quite a menace for quite a bit of the stay, which was actually quite fun. We went to a bakery slash brunch spot, which is very, very well known, a James Beard winner, I believe. And then we walked around downtown Minneapolis. There's a little pedestrian byway here, right across the Mississippi River. And then we also stopped at a sandwich spot and a whole bunch of other things and just explored. All right, we out here. There is a minor league baseball team. What are they called?
St. Paul Saints.
So we're gonna go watch the St. Paul Saints. I'm probably also gonna be watching the Argentina match, but see what this is about. The minor league baseball game was not super interesting. I think the match ended like 4-3, but during this time was the famous Argentina versus Cabo Verde match, which was extremely exhilarating, so I was watching on my phone most of the time. This is probably one of the most American things I've done. After the match was done, they invite everyone kind of onto the field here into the outer areas, and they have food trucks, all that kind of stuff around here, which is actually really nice. It's a community event. This is super nice. The stadium's kind of right in the city of St. Paul itself. And then I ended up joining these kids playing Ninja, because this is a game that I played throughout my childhood and I have not played since. Essentially what you do is you start with 2 hands, and then you have one movement at a time. You're supposed to knock out everyone else by tapping their hands. There's a whole bunch of other nuances to it, but this game is super fun. We used to play this all the time with like 12 to 15 people in the circle, and overall this was a pretty good reminder here. A little awkward, but whatever, it was fine. Afterwards they had fireworks. This was July 3rd, which was really nice. It started pouring right after this. Pretty much we went home and knocked out. It might be vacation, 4th of July, doesn't mean you stop training. Up and early, I'm gonna run to a farmer's market that the rest of the gang is gonna meet me at. So at 10 miles, so we're gonna add up some extra miles somewhere to get to 12. Legs definitely feel very tired, but we'll get it done. Minneapolis and St. Paul are pretty cool because you don't really expect it to be associated with the Mississippi River. However, it flows right through. This is one of the most northern big cities that has the Mississippi coming through it. There's just a ton of wild turkeys around, which was interesting to see during my run. They have these fantastic little water stations around. They had a street festival 4th of July, but that was also there. We explored a bunch of Minneapolis as well. There's this giant pencil, which has some lore behind it, which you'll hear in just a second. So that used to be a tree, got struck by lightning. They had a artist come and make this into a pencil, and now it's a pencil fest every year. And they shave it down. Hosted by the house, by these guys. That's fun. That night we went out to dinner in Minneapolis as well, and there was a huge storm rolling in. And this is something that I've honestly missed about the Midwest, is these nice huge storms that come in the summer. They take out a lot of the heat. It cools down a lot quite a bit afterwards. And it was just great dinner vibes. We were at another fantastic restaurant. Afterwards the sky turned into the cotton candy skies. We were over at some of our friends' place in a high-rise to watch the fireworks on July 4th. So we did that, which is pretty nice. Still raining here and there, but overall decent, and then knocked out after that as well. Next morning, we want to explore some of the nature that's in and around St. Paul, Minneapolis. This is like 5 minutes from downtown. It's actually quite incredible. Probably not 5 minutes, but closer than you would expect. One of the great things about Minneapolis is that there's just so much natural kind of stuff and features and nature close and around the city, which is pretty neat. And then we headed out to a British pub, a Brits pub, for the Brazil versus Norway match. And obviously, I was repping my Holland kit, Holland-Norway jersey, and it was absolutely lit. This is before the match started because I was zoned in completely, but it got very, very packed. However, it was not nearly as packed as it was after we left. We left for the Mexico versus England game, and as you can see here, that was extremely packed. Obviously, all these people did not fit into the bar, but essentially they had a street festival. They had a huge line right outside, wrapping around for like 6 blocks. This was all pretty much Mexico fans, barely any England fans, which was absolutely crazy. Eventually, it ended up being around dinner time, so we had dinner, then we went for a walk afterwards along the Mississippi in this little park area in St. Paul, which is pretty dang nice. And once again, like I said, these Midwest evenings are super nice because the temperature usually comes down a little bit, and then we just chilled.
This is my special friend here. Got dropped off by Will right there. He's off to work. I'm off to Phoenix. She's off to Korea. What is up? It is Monday, back in Phoenix. Landed at about 8:30ish a.m. here today from Minneapolis. I look disheveled because I am disheveled. I have the day off today. I took off just so I could get some chores done, get some stuff done. So that is currently what I'm doing. I am off. I had to drop off some recycling. We unfortunately don't have recycling in our building, so we have to go to a center for that. So I just did that. Gonna head to Costco, get a bunch of groceries because our fridge is completely empty. Trader Joe's, all that kind of stuff, and then clean the home because it's been a while since we've had a deep clean, since we've been out of town. I'm home, so I got time to do that. There's some fantastic World Cup matches on today. We have France versus Portugal, or sorry, Spain versus Portugal, and then we also have USA Belgium, so there should be some crackers of games that I do not want to miss. I got a haircut today, I'm gonna shave today, get nice and cleaned up, and then I got a bunch of videos to film because on the plane, essentially I just sat there and scripted a bunch of videos, so like 15 to 20 videos, so I'm gonna film as many of those as I can. Gotta edit videos. As you can see, it's gonna be a packed day, so I'm not gonna vlog too much more. I'm driving over to Costco right now, so that'll probably be it for today. I may or may not see you again later on in the vlog. If you do see something else, then you won't see what I'm about to record right now, but if you don't, then... We're out here running. It's 108 degrees. My friend Lawrence is visiting from the Midwest. He is a fucking machine. He is not heat adapted. I keep saying I'm getting heat adapted. He's crushing it. Insane.
Lawrence just decided he had to come visit before we left, so he came down. It was still a work week, so we didn't really do much other than run and eat. But we went to some pizza spots. We showed him the beauty of QT slushies here, which he's now addicted to. And then also went to a bar to watch Norway versus England, which was a sad result, but overall pretty good experience. We went to Banham's Cheesecakes, which is the cheesecake specialty place here. Also very good. And then Tessa came home. Like I said, she was in Korea. She rented a car from LA, which is where she landed, and then came back with Kyoko, who was absolutely, maybe not really, happy to be back in Phoenix because it is way hotter here. She had a fantastic time with the grandparents in LA, hanging out there while we were over there traveling. That's it for this vlog. I'll see you guys in the next one.